Hello guys, you are welcome grade 6 students at Sunny Valley International School. Today we will revise together 3.11 tissues and organs. Let's start our revision. Number 1, read the following paragraph and fill in the gaps with words from the box below. Each word may be used once, okay, more than once, or not at all. Look at this picture. As you know, living organism may be unicellular if it is composed only of one cell, or multicellular like you and me. We are consist of trillions of cells. For multicellular organisms, group of cells form a tissue doing certain job, certain function. Group of tissues form an organ, like your intestine, your small intestine. Small intestine consists of muscles, muscular tissue, connective tissue like blood supply, nervous tissue like nerve, also epithelial tissue for absorption of nutrients. All of this collected together in an organ. Group of tissues form an organ. Group of organs like intestine, small intestine, large intestine, plus stomach beside esophagus, plus mouth, all of this form an organ system called digestive system, for example. Group of systems like digestive plus circulatory system plus breathing system, excretory system form an organism. So, group of cells form a tissue. Group of tissues form an organ. Group of organs form organ system. Group of organ systems form an organism. Look at the question again. Your body uses organs like your heart, okay, like your heart to do different jobs. Each organ is made up of, yes, tissues, formed from tissues. A tissue is a group of similar cells, like here, like this tissue, okay, similar cells. The cells in each tissue are what? Are specialized to do certain job, like epithelial tissue for absorption, blood supply to bring oxygen to tissues. So here the cells in each tissue are specialized to make what? To make them better at doing different jobs, okay? Number 2, use lines to match each type of tissue to its function. Tissue, here 5 types of tissues: skin, surface, cell tissue, fatty tissue, bone tissue, muscle tissue, blood tissue. Here their function but not in order. We have to match each tissue with its correct function on the right, okay? Just matching. Look please to the first item, first tissue, skin, surface, cell tissue. Look, as you know, our skin is the first line of defense against entry of microbes. Microbes like bacteria, like fungi, try to invade our body, try to infect us with certain disease. So our healthy skin, surface cell tissue keep out microorganisms from entry. So the answer here, look, the answer here, keep out microorganisms. This is the first one. Number 2, fatty tissue. Fatty tissue stored underneath the skin of polar bears and penguins. Okay, this tissue stores energy and reduces heat loss through the skin, act as insulator against heat loss from their bodies to atmosphere. As you know, they live in very severe cold conditions in polar region. Penguins, seals, polar bears all have thick layer of fatty tissues underneath their skin. What about bone tissue? Bone tissue. Here bone tissue. Look at bone tissue. Yes, Bone tissue for what? Sure, gives support and structure to limbs. Limbs, I mean legs and arms, as here in this figure. Look, gives support and structure to limbs. So the answer here. Okay. What else? Muscle tissue. What about muscle? What about muscles? Muscle tissue, like here, this muscle in your arm, in your legs. Huh? What its importance? Causes movement. Causes movement. Allows bones to bend. Allows skeleton to move from area to area, like in this figure. This for muscle tissue. Causes movement. Causes what? Movement. What else? Last one, blood tissue. Blood tissue. Blood tissue. Look at this figure, this animation about circulatory system and the blood pumped from heart to all body parts. Why? To carry nutrients like glucose and oxygen to other tissues. All body tissues receive blood. All body tissues receive oxygen and nutrients like glucose, like minerals from blood to tissues. From blood to tissues. The carrier here is the blood. Okay, blood tissue. Now, final answer for this. Okay, final answer here. Skin surface cell tissue keep out microorganisms. Fatty tissue stores energy and reduces heat loss through the skin, like polar bear. Bone tissue gives support and structure to limbs. Muscle tissue causes movement by contraction and relaxation, like in this figure. Okay, last one, blood tissue brings nutrients like glucose and oxygen to other tissues. Okay, this is question number 2. Let's revise number 3. Decide whether each statement describes a cell, tissue, organ, or organ system. Decide whether each statement describes a cell, tissue, organ, or organ system. Here, lungs carry out gas exchange. What about lungs? Lungs consist of group of tissues, so it is an organ. Okay? Lungs contains blood supply, contains certain tissues like connective tissues, epithelial tissues. Group of tissues form an organ. Muscle contains cells which can contract. Group of cells, group of fibers. Okay, so muscle alone considered a tissue. The mouth, stomach, and intestines, large and small intestines, digest food. Okay, this organ system form certain organ system involved in digestion and absorption of food stuffs. Look here, the heart contains several different tissues, group of different tissues like lungs. The heart also considered an organ. Okay, what about E? It always contains nucleus, cell membrane, and cytoplasm. This description for what? Cell. For a cell. Okay, we finished now number 3. Let's start number 4. Your neck connects your head to the rest of your body. List 4 tissues. You need listing 4 tissues, names of 4 tissues that you would expect to find there and explain their role. Look to your neck. The first one, bone tissue. What its importance, what its rule, what its function. Look, supports your neck and helps neck bending. Try to bend your neck now. This is done by bones, by vertebrae. Okay, by vertebral column in your neck. Here, the bone tissue supports your neck and helps neck bending. Number 2, muscle tissue. Muscle contracts muscle contracts to allow bone move. This helps bone move. The bones by its own cannot bend or move, but by muscles that surround these bones, by contraction of these muscles, it allows bones to bend or move. Okay? Number 3, blood tissue. Third tissue here, blood tissue. Sure, the muscle in your neck and the bones also, bone cell also alive, need supply of oxygen and supply of glucose to respiration, to respire, to release energy needed for contraction. Look, blood tissue brings oxygen needed for muscle respiration, to release energy needed for contraction and relaxation. Last tissue here, nervous tissue. Okay, you can send orders from your brain to your muscles, any muscle. This nerve, okay, orders allows muscle to contract. So look, this exercise, we use all of these tissues, especially last one, nervous tissue. Look, brings message orders from brain to allow muscle contracts. Okay? Thank you for watching. Good luck. See you next video inshallah. Bye bye.